already done.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Hello? Are we here?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We're a bit confuzzled today.
Mm.
We are working through a couple of the logistical changes as Rabbit appears to have died. But hello, everyone. My name is Trups LP, and welcome to Moisky Live, since we're calling it that. As always, I am joined by the actual host of this show, but today it's me. But it's actually Omegon. Say hello, Omegon.
Press F for rabbit.
F. Very, very large big red F.
Indeed.
How is Omegon today?
Well, it's my day off, so and thankfully, I was not doing overtime. I instead built a bed, which I had to carry a staircase that was built specifically for the bed, quite heavy, up the stairs on my own. Quite exhausting. And then I made videos because I was bored. I'm alright
Well,
otherwise.
then you're doing better than me.
How is Trups LP?
Trump's LP is still working overtime.
When will it end?
Yes. When will it end? Hopefully 2 weeks. Hopefully. That and we've made some good progress at work, but you know, life goes on. I'm going to actually record some food for thoughts over the weekend because interestingly enough, my fiance and I actually have discussions that warrant their own videos. Honestly,
That's
so
interesting.
I've written down the topics and I plan on expanding on them over the weekend.
I look forward to that. Hello to Stuart Echo Spoony, Mumbling American, Peter. Hello Prospero. Hello, we are here. Way to Twilight. Tom of Loxley. Hello Trups. Hello Vince. Great Sky Troll. Means of Destruction. Faith. There's more, isn't there? Yes, number 1, Ethalion, Semper Bear, and I think it's... Oh, and hello Karma. So yeah, I think that's everyone. If I've missed anyone, I do apologise. So where do we start?
Well, first, Karma, thank you for the $5 donation before the stream started.
That was very nice of
I
her.
appreciate it, and I
Yes.
did notice. So let's talk about American politics for a brief moment.
Oh, do you want me to get the video up
because-
first?
Yeah, because I don't know how well that site will work, so I'd rather get through it
it's
now than
fine.
later on. So we had
Okay.
the second round of Democratic debates. This what was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago, yeah.
I think so. I'll be honest. All I heard were the bits on Twitter. And, oh, Jesus. That was loud. Thank you for subscribing. I think that was to Trups' channel based on the zombie thing.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Oh,
Thank
you
you
and I
for
need to,
subscribing.
you and I need to talk about that later. From what I'd heard, and the things that made people laugh the most, was that they'd seen and heard of someone doing particularly well, but the results not reflecting this. In the sense that Tulsi Gabbard is the one many are saying won this, and yet the Twitter trending was all indicating that Biden was king. Which
Well, of course they're gonna say that.
I could just gonna say Cory Booker looks like such a moron. Gormless is the word I'd associate with every photo I saw of this. I don't know what his policies are.
Unfortunately, Biden is this poster child for the establishment Democrats. And that's to say the older establishment Democrats, not the new age progressive wing of the establishment Democrats, which has been so pervasive in the House and seeping into the governorships of various blue states. That being said, though, Kamala Harris, having previously been the Attorney General of California, would be one of those people that the establishment Democrats would be searching to put up there for a reasonable presidential candidate. As you can tell by this, actually, this perfectly framed photo, these are the three that I actually expect the Democratic National Party to actually consider as viable options.
And who are these three people?
That would be Cory Booker, a senator from New Jersey, Joe Biden, former vice president of the United States, and Kamala Harris, former attorney general of California.
Okay. Hello to, I think, Sweet Texas Gal. Wasn't it Bernie Sanders in this debate, by the way?
I believe so. At least he was in this round of individuals
I'll pull them up. Because
last
there's
time.
also Elizabeth Warren and some guy next to Bernie. I can't actually have no idea who it
Yeah,
is.
but I don't think so. I don't think they can take Elizabeth Warren seriously.
Is
That's
Elizabeth Warren the one who thinks
Buttigieg.
she's partly native?
Yes, yes.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's Pete Buttigieg in the far left.
Okay.
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody tell me, because I honestly I couldn't care less. Um, but yeah, all of these individuals look like they are telling Alex Trebek, I don't agree with your fucking decision on that answer of Jeopardy. I want them all to have their names on the front of their pedestals and how much money they have.
I did, on the debate subject, the one thing I heard about was that Kamala Harris went in on Barack Obama, of all things. I thought that was a pretty brave move, considering
Well,
how he's held in such high esteem.
she essentially went in on Biden, saying that Biden has allowed a bunch of racist policies to be pervasive in today's society, and Barack Obama was more closely a Republican than a Democrat. I'm like, ooh, you can't say that. That's naughty.
That's interesting, because I'm pulling up an article. I've pulled up one article to look at this, and it's quite interesting. It's from the LA Times, and they're now indicating that, and obviously that you can tell they're very much skewed. Hello, Volsrock, you. That they're hammering his record on healthcare, trade, immigration, even though he, at the time when he was in charge with the Democrats, had an approval rating damn near 100%, which is quite impressive, but then understandable considering.
I don't think that's exactly true, but
No, I don't think it is either, but it's impressive. It was impressively high.
right, yeah. Like he did very well until the end of his presidency when things started to go south for him. But that was because the onset of Obamacare was essentially forced down people's throats, and
Yeah.
if you didn't get Obamacare, you actually had to pay a fine.
So a lot of people on YouTube around the time when the skeptics were prospering, there were a number of them who spoke out, who were themselves disabled, and they said they didn't want it. They didn't want this absolute cancer, and it was of no benefit to them. It just made things more difficult for them.
Well, you see, in when it comes to nationalized healthcare, like I know the UK and Canada and several other European states, of which our Democrats and our left-leaning politicians like to always liken our healthcare as lacking in comparison to.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, when it comes to federally operated healthcare, we need only look at the Veterans Affairs. This
Mhm.
is a nationally ran healthcare system, and it's garbage. Every person who has ever been through the VA will tell you that they
Yeah,
are
I can.
absolute awful fucking practitioners.
I think McGog told me about this, and he was quite disparaging about it.
Yeah.
I think
So
we the UK have a fantastic system. I only disparage aspects of it. I will still admit it's fantastic. There was a video done by a channel called Skeptor, an Israeli guy who was thinking about how our system works in the UK. And when people compared it to America and said that America should try to implement it, he tried to prove the point that it couldn't be. I think he had a point, to be fair. I don't think NHS in your country could exist as the way our NHS exists.
there's a couple reasons why, and I think simply because of the large land mass that we must cross. It's not like we could call up, let's say, a guy from Kansas, be like, "Hey, we need a doctor over in New York. Could you get here?"
Hello,
Like
Sarah Storm.
the idea that for the most part you could get from north to south of the island in what, maybe 6 to 8 hours of driving.
I can get from here to Cornwall, which is near the other side on the south, in about 6 hours driving. But to get to the
I
north,
could get
north would be about 10 hours. But not right to the top of Scotland. That's a bit longer because our roads are quite messy.
from where I lived when I was born and grew up before I moved out to where I am now, in 6 hours I could get halfway there.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. Obviously, and that was one of the arguments Skeptor had made, actually. Landmass played a pivotal part in the argument. And I think it's an interesting debate to talk about, because people say no one would live in a civilized country if they didn't have nationalized healthcare of some kind. And that's just a direct shot at America. I just don't think America could implement it, to be fair.
I think our society, our people, our population, and our infrastructure is just too different to implement a similar system.
I think so.
But to address Prospero, the area where I live, I'm surrounded by 2 to 3 different military installations, and all 3 of them complain about the VA. So it could be aware, but the VA is federally owned, so technically your funding doesn't matter where. It's the individuals. So the fact that you have an individual basis, I'm going to call that anecdotal.
Okay. The article here references Trump quite nicely, actually, weirdly enough, mentioning that he's more likely going to be re-elected because his opponents are busy being woke Twitter activists or appealing to those as opposed to the Midwestern countryside, which is actually surprisingly pleasant for something called the LA Times. I just wanted to point it out. With the debate, because I want to get back onto that, who do you think actually won it?
I couldn't have been bothered to watch it. But like literally, look, okay, how much do I want? Like, because this is a little bit contemptuous for the opponent, and I understand that, and I accept that. But why the hell would I want to watch 10 or so Democrats across 2 nights, by the way, of which I would have to sit there and listen to them morally grandstand from a position of power to a working class American about how, by nature of my sex, my skin tone, and my sexuality, I am inherently putting other people down by existing. Yo, fuck off. I don't want to have to deal with your shit, but I love hearing the highlights. So Tulsi wins just based on highlights.
Based on the... so there were a few opportunities I did have to look at news this week. Many said that all the candidates were lackluster. Others said that Biden won. He's now got to go up against Elizabeth Warren. One or two, in fact, said Booker won because of how he handled assaulting the vice president, even though he himself was kind of defeated for his handling of the Newark police as mayor. And others, one or two, and they're very few, did say Tulsi, but they mention it so quickly. Others, was Andrew? Is it Andrew Wong? Is he the other guy in it? Yang. Sorry. Yeah, my apology. I got confused with someone else.
He's holding his own. Some people don't like certain policies he has, and don't get me wrong. Tulsi Gabbard has some policies that wouldn't make many Republicans happy either. Oh shit! There is actually another candidate that I want to talk about after we get done with Tulsi, and it's the hippie chick that everyone loves. I gotta find that fucking article. Hang on, it's on my phone.
Right, while you do that, I've pulled the video up. But I'll let you... Do you want to explain this the lady first, or do you want to watch this?
Oh yeah, so this situation kind of speaks for itself because they actually do give a lead in. Tulsi frames this answer very well to avoid clips, with the sound bites.
Yeah, sound bites are very important.
She played this very well, so that her answer was complete in itself. So remember, Kamala Harris used to be a prosecutor for California. She has been going on for about 10 minutes at this point, grandstanding about how her actions in California is a superior way to handle the division of racial inequality than that of Biden's while he was in office. And Tulsi was like, excuse, and Marianne Williamson, yeah, I gotta find the article about that real quick. Yeah, so go ahead and play that video.
Just before, I'm going to address Prospero's comment about Kamala Harris being a sociopath. I thought she was a sociopath a few months ago, to be fair. I don't like her that much. Not because she be whammon, but because she be a bit weird. But yes, I will press play on this video if I can get to go back to the start. Okay, right. We'll have to interject regularly though, okay?
Oh yeah, go ahead. It's actually from time. It's actually time.
You should
YouTube.
have some controls on this, to be fair. So if you want to pause,
yeah,
it,
I do.
So.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence.
Okay, first of all, that is the best zinger and the best way to start this off. But I want to point out also the comment about she'll be a prosecutor president. I want nothing of the sort.
Disavow. I just want to say to Prospero in the chat before you continue, legalize all drugs. I've mentioned this before many times. I've had arguments with people about this because I don't agree with legalizing all drugs because of my background in chemistry, organic to be specific, and
Orgos.
My issue was always about the health of the individual because of how you couldn't guarantee the reaction or the response. It wasn't universal. It was always going to lead to issues. But, and hello Squizzy, but after a lengthy argument with Undoomed on this, I do agree that if you're going to legalize it, tax the living feck out of it.
Oh, yeah,
Cha-ching! I'm okay with this because then we don't have so many tweakers. Because they're they're not going to be doing it illegally. They're going to go down the legal route.
Well, that, and the most important thing for me is that if you go to the ER with a drug overdose, then that's legal, and they can help you, and you don't feel ashamed to go into the ER because you did something legal. You may feel ashamed to do something illegal.
Wait. Who's starting to... Oh, Prospero's starting to sound like an ANCAP. Right. I was worried for a second that I was. I should say...
Now, when Prospero said that, I thought she was being Lord Farquaad.
Yeah. I would say, Lord Farquaad. His argument was always about money. Mine was always about the health of the individual. I think my concern is still legitimate. We're still not there yet. I don't mind if you're going to... I also will say, if the government does, I'm not going to stop you. But if you bring it near me, there is a response. It happens every single time. It involves the open palm of my hand making very severe contact with the face of the person blowing it in my face.
Just don't be a dick.
Rule 0. Just don't break it and we're good. And as long as you're not doing it illegally, I mean, if it's legal, fine. I honestly tax it. Just keep it away from me. I'm not going to have it in my system, so don't put it in my system. And this before you do, this put down is absolutely savage. Carry on.
Evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California, and she fought to... Hang
on. Did she?
Yes.
Wow, that.
Yes, you did.
That. You know that. Oh, this is a really. In my head, the first word that came into my head was with plantation. It's not. I know it's wrong, but that was the first word that came into my head.
Oh no! You're right. Do you know? I mean, they don't tell you, but there were black slave owners in the United States.
Oh, I'm very much aware of it. I'm sorry, and I know some people in the chat might not agree with me, but that's the first. I didn't know that, and that was the first thing that came into it. I need more mead.
Especially if you consider all the things that she said compounded. Kinda sounds like it. First of all, you imprisoned 15,000 people on marijuana charges, and then laughed about it when somebody asked if you smoked.
It'd be hard to find an MP or senator or congressman that hasn't touched marijuana.
Of course not. They're above the law, though.
Of course. I need more mead. Yeah, donate to my Streamlabs so I can buy more mead.
Then as you withheld evidence for somebody who was on death row until the courts forced you to reveal it, which means the courts knew it,
Oh,
and
dear.
you were being a dickhead.
The word sociopath
could
now
have
is
gotten
the word sociopath is absolutely accurate now.
That would be psychopath at that point.
Yes. Please continue.
And then to exploit the prison system for cheap labor.
Yeah.
All of those screams slavery.
I have no
Modern
respect
slavery.
for that. No respect for that. It's not even. It's beyond. That's not modern slavery. That is actual slavery.
Let's keep it going because I want to see Kamala Harris not refute any of these points.
Lovely.
Bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the
doing the actual work, but what you actually did was pure corruption. Therefore, gloating about doing Go on.
No, I want her to finish speaking so that once she takes the breath and they're like move on. I want to really run it back and go, all right. So not a single one of those fucking things you said no.
Yeah, go on.
I didn't do it.
Power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about re-entering former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken.
Thank you, one from the fucking person. Thank you, 2, 3.
Marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring a
all right, go fuck yourself.
That was pretty pitiful. She didn't actually address them.
It wasn't a single refute.
It was a simple case of, I mean, she couldn't really refute them because she did them.
No, because it's fucking public record.
Instead, she's trying to balance it by saying, I did this, though. Hello, subpar genitalia and Lulubell. yeah. There is that. I'm loving the. I really love the name. It cracks me up every time. But hang on, I've got a cough. Right. So yeah, she didn't refute it because obviously she can't. Instead, she's trying to cancel it out by saying all the good she's done. Hello, White. And I think it's a case that what she says she has done, though, major reformation, hello, Essa Minor, she's done nothing to reform it because of all the bad she did prior or during. Therefore, the good she thinks she's done is utterly erased. And sociopath does count. Prospero's right emotionally that.
Oh, yeah. And to address Voight, what is it, like, what, 2 seconds to say that's not true? Just out of curiosity.
If she did that, though, I mean, she would have been absolutely destroyed.
Poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris,
ready?
Your response.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
As the elected Attorney
Stop.
General of California.
She didn't do it. As the you know what it is? It's
in the world.
Okay, I have to. Corruption is still work. You're quite right, Lulu. It's not the answer that gets me. It's the expression before it, the eye roll and quite self-righteous expression.
Like the how dare you?
I'm better than you.
You know what's funny though? Tulsi Gabbard is a major in the U.S. Army.
Is she? Oh,
yeah, she's, I think, 3 promotions away from Brigadier General.
Good on her.
So, like, Kamala Harris, go fuck yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't approve of all of Tulsi Gabbard's opinions either. But this right here was straight up WWE from the top of the fucking cage, tombstone. You're done.
This was a promo that wasn't cringy. So it was pre-PG era. Pre-John Cena.
Yeah, this is Attitude Era, Stone Cold coming in, cracking 2 beers and pouring them.
Yeah. I'm quite impressed actually with that, that she didn't answer the question. That's interesting.
I was so mad that she didn't. And by the way, she continues to go on for another 5 minutes.
Well, I'm not playing that.
No. I know. But there was something that she gets brought up, and then Tulsi can. So let's watch that real quick.
Criminalize but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman Gabbard back in. Your response.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you were in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them.
Boom. Boom.
Jeez.
Okay. There is no fucking recourse, okay, from that kind of behavior. Not only because this goes on, right? This isn't just a one decision and in the heat of the moment kind of thing. You were an attorney general. You got the evidence. You read the evidence. You realized what this did. And you know what you didn't do? The work. So the fact that she's gonna tote, I did the work to reform a system of prisoners for a state of 40 million. Yeah, you reformed it into a goddamn gulag.
She's not.
You're the closest to making an Auschwitz fucking state than any white supremacist is in the United States.
So I have to ask, does Kamala Harris stand a chance of winning the nomination or getting close or potentially becoming second choice?
Well,
like
the Democratic
Vice?
National Committee will try. But after this, there's not a single person who watched this who isn't thinking to themselves,
Tainted.
excuse you. If that's true, then absolutely not.
Hello, Mini
'Cause
Lisbeth and Stargazer.
This is more than what was like criticized of Donald Trump. So this isn't, he said something that was risque or, crude. This is you literally, as an attorney, withheld evidence about a person who was going to die on your watch.
Mm-hmm.
You're a dictator.
It's a bit tragic, I'll give you that.
Let's keep going because I want to see her respond. Cause she's shaking her head, and I know Voight wants to see her say it.
Oh, go on then.
Until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor owe you owe them an apology.
Senator Harris.
My entire career, I have been personally opposed to the death penalty, and that has never changed. And I dare anybody who is in a position to make that decision, to face the people I have faced, to say, I will not seek the death penalty. That is my background. That is my work. I am proud of it. I think you can judge people by when they are under fire, and it's not about some fancy opinion on a stage, but when they're in the position to actually make a decision, what do they do?
You fucking block the evidence that would have freed an innocent man.
Hello, Sarah
So
Storm and Teddy.
first of all, she's trying to throw shade back at Gabbard this whole time, right? About fancy speeches. This isn't a fancy speech. This is regurgitating your record back at you and making you face the crimes that you have committed. You've committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. What say you in your defense?
Oh,
I did
Jesus
work.
Christ. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, this is pretty tragic for her, really, isn't it?
I think it's just desserts, in my opinion.
Okay, so she failed. She's not getting picked. And if she does get picked, I'll be honest, if it say it's her and Biden, or Biden and Harris as VP, they're getting destroyed. I would say,
Because of this,
against some of the other candidates, you think about who they have at the moment, Trump can just attack them directly. Are there many candidates he can't do that with?
no, there are no candidates that anybody can go toe to toe. You think that Trump didn't watch this? You think that Trump didn't watch the people on YouTube comment about it, or watch the Twitter sphere explode
he had his trousers off, cracking one off to this. I'm sure he was.
I'm sure he did. But you think that when you get one-on-one with him, if she were to be the Democratic National, candidate pick, that Trump wouldn't rail at you every fucking step of the way and make you eat those words in front of his base?
Okay.
You would lose. You would lose in the court of public opinion because you are honestly at the moral low ground. He would be, at that point, ethically better than you.
Right. I think if he calls corruption, and Biden and Harris are the two, he can get away with it. it's just gonna.
Oh yeah.
It's just gonna sink in. It's gonna destroy them.
But that's the worst part. So I sent you the article about Marianne Williamson.
Oh right, says who is Marianne Williamson? Because I don't know who this is.
So she is an author of self-help books.
Okay.
And she's kind of hippie, honestly. But she's an author. She's not a politician. She's an author. And when she went on stage the first time, people laughed at her because she seemed so out of the realm of politics, and it was weird. But somebody had posted this on Facebook, and they were one of my friends, and I was just like, wait, hold on, excuse me, what does this mean? Marianne Williamson's Democratic debate performance raised eyebrows, but she's no friend of the left. What?
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can put it on the screen. No, not that one. Where is it? There it is. Zoom out, go across. I know why. Obviously, because I didn't expect this, so it's not ready. But
No, that's okay.
I'm not going to put the video on though, because
No, that's all right. Honestly, I don't mind if we just put up the title, and I'll just talk about it.
just the title. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, the first part literally just says, the self-help guru's supposedly empowering rhetoric makes a mean-spirited masks a mean-spirited individualism that would lead to harmful policies if she were somehow elected. So this is essentially, it is an opinion piece from NBC. And what this author goes through and starts talking about is that you are in control of your own life.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that that they mentioned, one of the quotes attributed to her, is your mind is like an airplane, and you are the pilot. Rise above the clouds, fly above the turbulence, seek a smoother ride. Now, that is a very, like, vague kind of, be better kind of, don't let the things that would otherwise put you down keep you down.
Yeah.
This author is arguing that that is conservative.
Is it?
No, but this is literally the passage right above that. Ready? But this supposedly empowering rhetoric masks a mean-spirited individualism.
Oh,
Williams, like conservative thinkers, often blame material problems on personal failures. Her ideology may sound airy and inoffensive, but it is ultimately one of neoliberal victim shaming, and it would lead to harmful policies if she were, by some miracle, to be elected to public office.
I like the tweet underneath, your mind is like an airplane and you are the pilot. It's like stating the obvious 101, just getting very creative with it.
But isn't it funny that that is now apparently offensive? You are the controller of your own destiny. How dare you say that to me? What? I'm trying to... And oh my god, neoliberal? Are you fucking kidding me? Neoliberals are the ones writing this article.
Ah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Because basically the neo is new age, so whenever you see like neo-conservatives, it's the new age conservatives that like will say they're shit conservative, but it's not. But like, okay, first of all, if you're going to say victim shaming, absolutely not. Victim shaming doesn't happen by neoliberals, it happens by liberals, according to the progressive wing, first of all. What the fuck is this article?
I have no idea. This is it's I wasn't ready for it.
I cast you away
geez.
with my big clot fought repellent spray.
Ready? This
Hang on.
one's a good one. This one's a good one. Ready?
Just before you do that, thank you to Betty Swallocks for the £5 donation.
Oh, Jesus.
I bet that was Blade as well. I bet it was. I bet it was you, Blade.
Under the next tweet that's there,
Yeah.
the author writes, when you look closely at Williamson's beliefs, though, she starts to look less cuddly. Throughout her career, Williamson argues that transforming the world is less important than transforming the inner self. When you change your thinking, and only when you change your thinking, do you make permanent changes in your life experience, she writes in A Course in Weight Loss. Where is that wrong?
So she's not winning because she's not preaching about some kind of authoritarianism or something like that, huh?
Well, she's preaching, take control of your life. She's arguably more Peterson than Williamson at this point. Like, in this article, basically, this author is likening her to fucking James Peterson.
Congratulations.
I would... That's why conservatives are like, yo, she's pretty cool.
But she's a Democrat, right?
Well, yeah, she's a Democrat with liberal policies, but she believes in individualism and, like, to make yourself better. So, like, as a person, damn, this is pretty good. I don't know if I would elect you to office, but I wouldn't mind keeping you in the limelight for a while. Maybe get something good out of it.
I mean, if she's promoting good ideas, I don't take an issue. And the individualism stuff, I do agree. Self-improvement, yeah, I'm all on board with that.
I think it's so crucially important. And so the fact that any of these opinions are conservative in nature is really concerning to me, because does that mean that the contrary is true?
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone knows that the left wings in both our countries, honestly, only believe in black and white. So if you're not on my side, you're on the other side. So if that means that self-help and individualism and taking control of your life is wrong, does that mean that letting other people dictate and letting other people control who you are and what you do, is that left wing?
I'm not going to answer that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's the logical conclusion.
Oh, I do that. That's a bit easier to read. There we go.
That's the logical conclusion that we're going to, and that's sad.
Mm-hmm. So why is this person not at the was she at the debates?
Yes.
How did I not know that? Clearly,
Because no one wants to talk about her.
obviously.
No one considers her a threat.
I'll be honest, after seeing what I saw on Twitter, that's not surprising. They only think of Biden. And the news, in fact, most news outlets all said Biden.
We could argue that the right-wing conspiracy that all news is owned by Soros would, which is the party of Clinton, that would make sense.
Right.
But I more or less go with the realm of Biden is a return to normalcy
Okay.
for the media.
Thank you
Trump-
to Betty Actually Spits. Don't believe the lie. Duly noted.
Okay.
Right. Thank you for the £10 donation.
But Jesus.
Yeah.
But the argument is that Biden would be a return to the Obama era, which would be a return to normalcy for the media. Trump threw a monkey wrench in how they deal, on how they have to report on all these things. Now, of course, these were all decisions they made themselves, or were told by their publishers. But this is more or less the cause of why Biden is the front runner.
In the chat, Stargazer Knights wrote, she had a group of white people lay hands and pray for forgiveness to black people. Is this Marianne Williamson?
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Let me go and sorry for the aggressive typing. Oh yeah, she asked white people to offer a prayer of apology to African Americans, which a donation to you. Betty Actually Spits donated $10. Can't forgive Trups.
What did I do?
Don't know, but you got a donation. Say hello. Say thank you to Betty Actually Swallows. Spits, sorry. Say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Betty Actually Spits.
Yeah.
Oh, can't forget Trups. Oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Was intended to be a spiritual act of racial reconciliation. That is a quote. I'm not killing the keyboard to anyone who worries. It's simply a case I want a silent keyboard, but I haven't bought it yet.
See, now that's directing contrary to most people I know. They all want mechanical, loud-ass keyboards.
I don't. I like
my
them
fiance laughed in the background.
because when I do my videos, this is a little segue, guys, or off-topic thing. When I do videos, I look at articles and my notes on screens, and I will tab between them as I'm recording. and so if I have to then pause to tab and then not because it comes up really loudly. So
I do so much like background noise editing out.
So do I,
on
but
my fucking...
if I speak when I do it, it won't be taken out.
Right, I understand.
So it gets really difficult to get that piece of clicking out. And then, of course, there's that occasionally happen if you have a drink or something.
Or the breathing. The breathing's the worst.
I have no issue with that because...
Oh, I have such a bad issue with that.
Because I know when I need to breathe, I stop, I have a breath, and then I can cut it out. Noise reduction gets rid of it. It's fine. Hello, Sora.
Do you remember this is totally off topic, and I don't care. Do you remember the video Chocolate Rain? It was a song that came out early on in the YouTube sphere.
Yes.
But the guy moved away from his mic every time he breathed, and people made a meme about it very early on. Wow, this is actually showing my age of YouTube knowledge. Oh, God. I remember that shit so well.
It's good stuff, to be fair.
All right, so let's move on to the title story, shall we?
Yes, right. So there was a by-election in Brecon and Radnorshire. This happened because the incumbent was he lied a little bit, and he got into a bit of trouble for it, which is it's fine. I mean, it happens. I did a video on this guy actually, and I'm really annoyed that I've forgotten who he is already. Give me a second. I will quickly go and get his name. It will take me a second or two because I have to scroll down through my videos because it's on this channel. MP was unseated for lying, and his name. Oh, feck's sake. Oh, Hunt Brexit. Where is it? Article. Got it. Right. Yes. Chris Davis, because there was a petition, and you only had to get 10% of the constituency's electorate to sign it. Now, his lie is a bit special because, to be fair, he didn't really do much that I would consider wrong. What he had done, hello, the Tartanist. What he had done was he had taken £700 worth of pictures that had been costed, and he had split the difference between two office budgets and created and basically then to make that legal, he created invoices, which were fake. He was trying to keep it above board within two offices, but because the invoice was only sent to one office, he made two new ones, which was the mistake. Alright, he was fined £1,500, he carried out 50 hours of community service, and then a petition was done by the constituency of Brecon and Radnorshire, and 10,005 people signed it. The constituency isn't that big to begin with, if that makes up 19% of the electorate. You know, it's not a big constituency, it's in Wales. It doesn't really matter that much. The issue is that we had to wait for a while. We had to wait for a while because we had to be sure that we had to have a Prime Minister first, and that the Speaker would then, when the application was submitted, permit for a by-election to take place, which it did. Rather unfortunately, to be honest, because timing isn't on the Lib Dems or Conservatives or Labour's side at all. They've had issues with the recent by-elections where Brexit Party have done incredibly well. And so when the Liberal Democrats won, where Jane Dodd, in the middle of this picture you see between the rather gobby-looking bloke and the female Michael Gove, she looks like Michael Gove, Jane Dodd in the middle there won. She won by when 60%, which is a bit of a record in this area, turned out to vote for her. Now, I actually have the results of the result. Here we go. So Jane Dodd won with 13,826 votes. Chris Davis got 12,400, which isn't actually that bad. To be honest, considering the fact that he got stiffed on what I would consider a minor issue, if that makes sense. It's a £700 charge. It means literally dick to me. It's just not. It's not. It doesn't mean anything, right? The Brexit Party, though, are the reason most people believe Chris Davis lost the seat, because they didn't exist obviously last time. 3,300 votes went to Des Parkinson of that party. Labour got nothing, but then underneath, right? I don't mind UKIP getting nothing, but then there's the party I remember. Yes. Some people in England will remember this well. the Monster Raving Lunatic Party, or now the official Monster Raving Loony Party. They got 1% of the vote with 334. Candidate, Lady Lily the Pink.
Can you explain what the fuck that is?
No, because the
And
Monster
also
Raving...
what Poppy means?
I will tell you, I will quickly go and... I'll get the Monster Raving Loony Party Manifesto, right? Policy proposals, here we go. Oh, these are great. Okay. Policy proposals from the Monster Raving Loony Party's official website. Are you ready? Right,
I don't know.
foreign policy. We will admit Shamima Begum back into the country only when she accepts Screaming Lord Such as her saviour. Ministry of
I
Info.
don't get it.
Don't worry. We will create a new Ministry of Information. It shall consist of the former board of directors of Cambridge Analytica. They already know everything. They got the data from Facebook. Brexit proposals. We will send Hall Edmonds to negotiate Brexit because he understands deal or no deal. There will be no need for a backstop to the Brexit negotiations. We'll have Alex Stewart as a wicket keeper. Education funding. The Loony Party proposes that all schools should have a jumble sale or fete or other fundraising event at least twice per month to raise funds for those little extras, such as desks, books, pens, papers, etc. Okay.
I now understand.
Okay, there's some other ones, right? Pension triple lock. This is an issue about funding for pensioners when they obviously pay into a system. In keeping with Labour's latest bid to get one or two pensioners to vote for them, they have brought out a new policy guaranteeing the triple lock on pensions until 2025 if they go voted in. The Loony Party will go one better and buy a padlock. And as it's now safer than a bank, new mattresses for all new pensioners on less than 20p a week. And it's signed, "Are you serious?" Here we go.
I love it, actually.
There's more, and I'm going to go through them because I think these are brilliant. Here we go. New proposals. This is from 2015, 20th September 2015. In light of proposals at the Labour Party conference and its new leadership with Jeremy Corbyn, we come up with 2 new proposals for defence. We will get rid of Trident and replace it with a new tuning fork. And we shall keep the Falklands and give Jeremy Corbyn to the Argentinians. Would you like more, by the way?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Honestly.
Tuition fees. Once again, the main parties are stealing our election proposals. Today, Ed Miliband has declared that they will reduce tuition fees to much media acclaim. I didn't notice the same amount of acclaim when we announced it in our manifesto. E-education. All university tuition fees for women will be free, as we are strong believers in female intuition. Due to gender equality laws, we should include males as well.
Can I personally request that you do a video on your channel about this shit?
I'm going to link this in the chat because this is my favourite thing ever. It goes back. It comes from this. Some of it is from this year. The Brexit proposals, Ministry of Info, foreign policy. It is really funny. They have a cabinet, which is really funny. Honestly, the members, right? One of them looks like it just looks like a Cockney cowboy. It's like his
What is a
nick-
Cockney cowboy?
it's precious. Go to the About Us page.
You have cows?
We do have some, yes. Well, they have some fantastic names, and they all have. It's just absolutely amazing, honestly. But the Monster Raving Lunatic Party got some of the votes for this, which just tells you, well, their people are willing to turn out. 300. Hello, Bjorn. 300 people turned out for this, for them. It's amazing. I don't. Oh, by the way, I need to find out who Lady Lily the Pink is because I don't see her here. Let's see if I can find a picture of her. Lady. Oh, I found her. Oh yeah, she's wearing pink. Let's open the image here. Save that. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will just exchange the where is it? By-election result with this one. This could be good. Will it go in? Oh, it's so. Don't you dare. There we go. that the guy on the left is actually the party leader. But yeah, Lib Dems win the seat, which is fine. I mean, it's
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Yeah, many people thought the Lib Dems were going to win anyway. Joe Swinson, the party leader for Lib Dems, has said this is a great victory. I disagree, because I think most voted for Lib Dems in protest of not only Brexit, but also Conservatives when it came to this. I think many are now assuming this will lead to a general election. I don't think so. Yes, it does mean that the Conservative Party now have a majority of one, with a number of MPs threatening to quit the party and go Lib Dem anyway. Thing is, no one trusts the Lib Dems in the first place. After what they did in 2010, it doesn't matter who's in charge of the party. They're about to lose another seat, and they're probably they might be able to gain back the seat Nick Clegg lost to Gerard O'Mara. O'Mara. And that's fine.
O'Mara.
They can try. I don't think they will. People think this now provides a pro-EU blueprint for future elections. No, it doesn't. It just says people are getting fed up in the protest voting in all directions. Let's not forget here that while Labour managed to retain a seat in a by-election that was called after Onasanya kind of messed up, the Brexit Party made phenomenal gains. Oh, but it's a big sign that we managed to keep the Brexit Party down. No. You just won by a couple hundred votes. In fact, you were lucky. If a snap general election is called, a lot of you are going to lose seats. And you're going to lose seats because you've let the people down. I mentioned this in today's video with the ERG group, the European Research Group, most of whom are anti-Brexit. Basically, they've just grouped themselves up so we now know who they are. If you look at their constituencies, the majority of their constituencies voted to leave. But they are acting against their people. And that, to me, is a damning statement for elitism.
Ooh. Mumbling American in chat goes, I look forward to Lord Buckethead running again. Why does that sound familiar?
Isn't Buckethead the guitarist for Guns N' Roses, who has a literal bucket on his head?
Isn't that Slash?
No, that's different. When Guns N' Roses did Chinese Democracy. Different people within the band.
Oh, right.
So, people think that with Boris Johnson now in charge of the Conservatives, that the voters for Brexit Party are going to go back to the Tories. That is actually somewhat true. And I know, hello Dolat. I know this to an extent because people were calling into Nigel Farage's LBC show, and I was listening to it while I was busy mopping. And I noticed people were saying, I've left your party because I believe Boris is actually a good option. And obviously it's unfortunate for Nigel Farage. But many already speculate that... yes, that is quite right about my campaign. Donate to my Streamlabs, I might try a little harder. There's going to be a... almost like a coalition, but not, between the Brexit Party and the Conservatives. Because there are a number of Conservatives who want to leave, and they'll go either independent, or they will join the Lib Dems, or they will join Labour. No, they won't. Or they'll just stay independent. Or they'll just be deselected and or lose in the next general election, whenever that is. Now, with the Conservatives now down to one as a majority, I think it's going to get to the point, if they do lose their majority, there will have to be a general election anyway, because there's now no commanding presence in Parliament. I do think it's unfortunate that this is a loss on Boris, but I do think he never really stood much of a chance since he'd only been in office for a week and he's been busy trying to deal with Brexit. But as with all things when it comes to the House of Commons, they're looking for any excuse to tear him down. And this isn't, to be honest, it isn't just him, to be fair. I mean, there's an MP for Labour who resigned from Labour last year, and he's going to stand for a new party at the next general election. Now, he's still an independent, but the party he's going to stand for is called the Social Justice Party. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Poor decision. The
guy's 77, it's alright. I doubt he cares. Because of the anti-Semitism issue, that's why he's walked away. Now, Labour aren't going to be able... I don't think Labour will keep that seat, because this guy's had it for 40 years. They will... And, no, Cyrene, Boris will not prorogue Parliament. To do so would be a constitutional nightmare. if any member of Parliament shut Parliament down to put through one of their bills, they'd be performing one of the single most anti-democratic things they could ever do, and would show that they, as a leader, would be willing to circumvent democracy to push through what they believe, and that would be the absolute nail in Boris's coffin. His premiership will absolutely crumble around him. He can't do that. He's been very optimistic with how he's approaching this, and I would talk more about Frank Field, about the Labour stuff, but I don't care enough. Boris is trying, and many are just saying, "Oh, you're just too confident," or "We just don't agree," or "We're not going to vote for it because we don't agree with it," or "Even if you get the backstop removed, we're not going to agree to it because we don't want to leave." And the list goes on. It keeps going on because the majority of MPs in that chamber do not want to leave. And so they can't find a consensus. They're never going to find a consensus. We now know there's only one option left, and they're trying to remove it, meaning that the only thing that could happen then will be to remain. Unfortunately, that can't happen without going against the will of the people, which means also an end to Boris's premiership. If Parliament manages to get it to a point where we cannot leave, it won't be a nail in the coffin of the Conservatives. It will be a nail in the coffin for anyone who did that. Any MP, they will lose to the Brexit Party, who then themselves would have Nigel Farage as Prime Minister. Which sounds a bit of me doing a bit of scaremongery, but let's face it. If you in that chamber can't think of a solution, or you keep putting forward the same ideas but getting a different person to sign it, which is what the ERG have done with their revoking Article 50 or additional votes, second referendums and all this nonsense, banning the government from spending in preparation, banning the government from doing the proroguing, which I'm okay with actually, and other such things, right? If you keep doing that, and the people see you're doing that, they're not going to be frustrated at the government for not being able to deliver as much as they're going to be frustrated at the individual MPs whose names are on those bills, whose names are on those amendments, for failing to act in the public interest. When the public said leave, they didn't say, "We give a fuck about how we leave. We give a fuck about, not being as wealthy as we could be, under projections that have already been proven to be wrong."
You know what's funny about that sentiment in particular? The people who seem to be most concerned as we're not as wealthy as we could be are people who are not only already wealthy, but people who would be willing to exploit the will of good-intentioned people in order to make a quick buck.
I agree.
We call them simply greedy.
Yeah, and that's actually quite interesting because these are the people who then say that they speak on behalf of the people. No, you don't. I don't care if I'm not as wealthy as I could be in a couple of years' time. I really don't care. I voted leave for reasons that I have explained in great detail on many occasions, a lot of which centred around my unemployment. I didn't blame anyone for it. I just know I got denied opportunity because of EU rules that you enforced. That, to me, denied me, a UK national, a chance at a job that I was equally skilled for, in favour of employing someone from continental Europe under the guise of giving them a monetary incentive over me. Hello, Stina. When it came to for the mighty, I couldn't be fucked. Right. Yes, I couldn't be fucked. I will say, this is the final whole summary thing. If you do, and Parliament, this, and I should really clarify this scaremongery stuff, because someone's going to say, "Oh, you're scaremongery." I'm not. It starts, oh crap, yeah, it is. I will have to end in a second then. When it comes to the MPs that do this, Brexit Party will get more and more publicity. It will get bigger. It will get a lot bigger, in fact, to the point where they will get absolutely annihilated, anyone else against them, by literally everyone. Okay? Oh crap, I've got a premiere starting in a second.
I see that.
Okay. Do you want to share anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, guys, sorry, ending it now before I ramble on for another 20 minutes, because I could. I really could.
Go have fun with your creepypasta.
Yes, please go watch. Join us. I would really appreciate it.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I know, it's on my screen. See you all later, guys.